Your thoughts on Palestinians?
Crazy and misinformed.
Palestinians?
What'd you say?
Your thoughts on the Palestinians?
I don't have enough information on that. I'm straight up from south side of Chicago, born in Atlanta. I don't have enough information. It's love for everybody, but don't pull me to that conversation. I got 14 kids dying every week in my city. You know what I'm saying? So talk to me about that.
Yes. All right, thank you, Kanye.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Kanye.
Now, I don't know when this was taken. I have no idea when they questioned Kanye here at the airport, but I got to tell you, man, I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. You understand what I'm saying? Give it up for give it up for my brother Kanye on this one. Ye said that. Now, I don't know if he on medication, but whatever they got the dosage right. Whatever medication they got you on, when they ask you that shit, get that, refill that prescription. Because that was right there on point, sir. Yeah, everybody needs to hear that loud and clear. And that's like the anthem for all of us. You know what I'm saying? You know, for Black Americans, we got a set of issues that we're dealing with that supersedes all this international shit. And this is why I had a falling out with a lot of these so-called Black intellectuals.
We mentioned on this show how connected you've been to the people of Gaza and Palestine writ large. But I can't, you have been talking about this longer than like the newer protesters. The people's attention has been awakened and consciences have been really pricked about what's happening in Palestine. Yeah. And I just want to ask you, what do you think is going to take to finally see peace in that region, to finally see a ceasefire happen, to finally see Palestinian lives matter, right? The same way that we cry out for Black lives to matter here in this country. I
understand politically, it's probably better to just be like, to each his own. But you know what? I'm tired of saying to each his own. I'm tired of being like, whatever they say, hey, whatever, I don't want no problem. You put your head down, you pretend that something's okay when it's not, pretend that the raisins in the potato salad was cool, pretend that if the chicken ain't fried hard, it's still dope. No, it's not.
On the question of Palestine, that's another place where we should absolutely be looking and asking questions and thinking about, just because it's a moral matter. And as Black folk, we've always been the moral leaders and stewards of this country. We've given America its conscience. We are the conscience of this nation. And we have to continue to be, because it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, you know what? I feel a certain kind of way. That makes me want to do this segment. That makes me want to say, screw all them. We're going to stand on business, Black people. Men, all men, we're going to stand on business. It doesn't mean be a violent asshole that crosses the line, that's uncaring, that lacks empathy for others. Now, that's part of being a man. A strong man can step back. A strong man does express his feelings. A strong man does know how to be a leader and also be a part of a team. But a strong man does not mean you have to put on a dress to prove how strong you are. But see, I gotta remember the money. The money. And they don't want to get canceled and they want to keep their jobs. But I don't have that problem. So I got to put it the way I put it. Family, Black America, we're going through what we're going through, man. We're losing our young people at such staggering rates. We ain't got time to worry about what's happening over thousands of miles away. Look, I wish you well. I wish you well. I got to focus on this. And let's be real, when they ask us these questions about geopolitics, they don't never really want to know our opinion. It's just to get us caught up and get us in a trick bag. That's all it's for. They don't even give a shit what Kanye think. He ain't a decider about what we gonna do geopolitically. It's just to get him roped in so he can get a soundbite, make some money off of him, and put him in a hot seat. That's all it's for. They don't really care what we think. This is the last time these Americans cared about what Black men thought about anything. They don't care what we think about ourselves, let alone what we think about people thousands of miles away that we'll never meet.
And your voice has been such an essential voice online. And I think a lot of people including friends and family of mine, were like, whoa, check out what Amanda's been saying post-October 7th. And I didn't know till you and I met in person. We have actually met in person. We don't just do this on screens. But when we met in person, that is when I discovered that you have a personal connection to Palestine. You have a family connection to Palestine.
Yeah. My stepmother is from Palestine. She's Palestinian. And my sisters and brothers through my father, they are Afro-Palestinian. And my sister was on my podcast, Small Doses, and she did an incredible episode in 2021, Side Effects of Palestine, where she talks about her grandfather's experience in the Nakba, and really helped frame for a lot of my audience why Palestine is not just that thing happening over there.
I'm going to keep this statistic, and I want you to remember this. Los Angeles, Black Americans are 7% of the population with 40% of the homeless rate. With 7% of the population, but 50% of homeless families. That's entire families, mom, wife, parents, siblings, children, all of them, even the dog. Homeless, unhoused. You gotta say that shit with your pinky out. And instead of them representatives in LA being focused on fixing that shit, they more concerned about if you said homeless or if you said unhoused. So, long story short is, we need to be more concerned with fixing these problems than fixing other problems. And I'm sure that there are many average Americans, 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. If that happened to them right now, they didn't have any warning. They'd either have to borrow money from a friend or a family member, or they have to sell something out their house. Everything that goes on Craigslist or one of these Facebook pages that's being sold isn't just for fun, because they're doing spring cleaning. All right, some of it's because somebody need to go to work. You ever had a job and you were so broke you couldn't get to work because you ain't had gas money? Hello? Oh, it's just me, huh? Just me. And you got the nerve with a straight face to come ask him what he thinks about what's going on in Gaza, what he thinks about the Palestinians. How about what he thinks about Chicagoans? What he thinks about Tennesseans? What he thinks about Washingtonians? What about that? No question for that, because don't nobody give a shit. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, shout out. Hats off to Kanye. Now, that's the Kanye I like. I like that Kanye. Got that dosage right. You need to go get a refill on that dosage, sir.